What is going on? David Troy, Mega Manager here, and I have to start by going a little out of character and apologizing to you people. See, I haven't been able to engage in our intimate conversations over the last about week and a half, and it's been for no other reason than I've been real reflective of my career. There are moments in the guy's career where that happens, and the last UIPW show was one of those moments. For those of you who weren't at the last show, shame on you, because a lot happened and you missed it. And unfortunately, UIPW is too chicken or too lazy or too stupid to post the footage of the last show, so I kind of have to bring you up to speed. You see, there was a 6-man tag match that pit the Suburban Commandos on a team with the guy you refer to as Chocolate. And at the end of that match, myself and the main event Warhog saw fit to go out and attack him, put the boots to him, for lack of a better phrase. And after we did that, we challenged him to a street fight. Now, that's probably the moment that I started to get a little reflective, because that's a heavy trigger to pull, and I didn't want to pull it. But I'll come back to that later. Another thing that kind of got me over the last week or so was the flood of responses that I got to the actions of myself and Warhog at the last show. Emails, text messages, Facebook messages, asking a ton of questions. And seeing as how I'm one of the only 2 guys in Southern California who is honest to you and to myself, I feel like there's no other thing to do but to answer at least some of the top questions that you've asked me over the last few days. Starting with, in my remarks to Chocolate, I called the UIPW fans cockroaches. And one of the big questions that was asked was, why did you do that? Simply put, that's what I see when I look into the crowd of a UIPW show. That's what Warhawk sees. He sees small bugs that he can just squash anytime he feels like, and he's powerful enough to do it. My feelings about it go a little bit deeper. You see, I see mealy-mouthed, little sniveling insects with their hands out, grubbing for a free meal or free shelter or free anything, with as little work as possible. 0 is optimal. I see people who can barely afford to scurry into their little cubby holes, and then when they do, what do they? They don't just sit there and consider themselves satisfied with what they have. No. What do they have? What do they do? They overpopulate, over and over and over again, putting a strain on themselves, putting a strain on society, putting a strain on the world as a whole. And then when someone like me comes along and shines a light, aka a microphone, on the situation, what happens? I get booed out of the building. They don't want to hear it. They scurry to their little cubby holes. They don't want to hear how much worse their life is than anyone else. They don't want to see a way out. They don't want to climb their way up. They just want to be cockroaches. So that answers that. Another question that I received was, why did I and the Warhog attack Sean so viciously at the end of his match? And honestly, the answer to that question is, that's the only way we could get his attention. What you don't know is that for the last few weeks, I've been reaching out to him. I've been trying to bring him into the fold of David Troy Mega Management, and he hasn't been listening. I've been calling, I've been emailing, I've been calling people that he knows, I've been leaving messages, I've been leaving voicemails, texts, and he hasn't listened to me. You see, I've been in Southern California wrestling for much longer than I care to know about. I know the landmines. I know the people. I know the backstabbers. I know the cowards. I know everyone involved in SoCal Pro Wrestling. And I know the landmines too. And I wanted to steer him away from that. You see, because screw Chocolate. His name's Sean. His name's Sean Black. He is a fast, smart, strong, professional wrestler in Southern California with all the potential in the world. And there's really only a handful of people in Southern California I can say that about, and he's one of them. And rather than watch his career go to waste, I wanted to steer it in the right direction. I wanted to steer it to championship gold. I wanted to steer it to new heights. Instead of listening to someone like me who knows what they're talking about, he wanted to listen to the cockroaches. You people. Which brings me to the next most asked question, which is, why did you threaten his career with a street fight? What career? If I leave it in the hands of you people, what career could he possibly have? You people don't even have careers. You people have jobs, menial ones, 2, 3, 4 of them at a time, maybe if you're one of the 10% that isn't a lazy cockroach. How exactly do you think you're going to steer that man's career towards anything? He's running out there kissing hands and shaking babies like it's the thing to do, and it's not going to get him anywhere. Not in this business, certainly not in Southern California. Nobody cares about that. They care about winning. They care about controversy. They care about something that you can bring to the table. And you people have nothing to bring to the table. You have nothing to offer his career. So in order to save it, I must end it. Aside from that, for the last few weeks, Warhawk has been chomping at the bit to rip him apart, and I've been keeping him on a leash. He's been able to get his hands on him, but I've been keeping him on a leash. I didn't want him to touch Sean for a long time because I wanted to bring him into the fold. Now that I see that that's out the window, all Warhawk's waiting for is the right time. All he's waiting for is that bell to ring for me to release his leash and for me to say, go sick. And May 5th is that time. 4 p.m. is the bell time, East LA Boys and Girls Club. I'm saying that because I want you to be there. I want as many people to be there as possible, Sean. I want you to go through a few rituals that you have to go through. I want you to call Lucha Pro and tell them that you're not going to make it that night. I want you to call your job and tell them you're not going to make it Monday morning. I want you to call all the people that you know and bring them to the East LA Boys and Girls Club so they can see and document your last professional match. Because I'm not joking around when I tell you it's going to be your last professional match. Warhawk is more than ready to break your back in 3 different places. And unfortunately, I have no other choice but to let him. Sean, if you think I'm just mouthing at you about this, you really should ask around about the next Lucha Libre Internet Champion Warhawk and David Troy Mega Man